Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. This is Tanush, and it's a very hot summer afternoon here in India. It's almost like 42 degrees Celsius, very hot. So, this is the final part of the Jupiter transit video for the last 4 ascendants. So, I've already made for first 4 and then the next 4, and this is for the last 4 ascendants. So, let us get started. So as part of introduction, I have already mentioned in my previous videos that this transit of Jupiter is little tricky because there are 3 things to it. First is the transit of Jupiter to the sign of Aries, which is wonderful because Jupiter and Mars are friends. Jupiter is quite comfortable being in the sign of Aries, and it adapts to that Martian nature where it becomes aggressive, quite focused in achieving things. So that way it's wonderful. And second part is Jupiter would be in conjunction with Rahu here, right? So it forms a yoga which is known as Guru Chandal Yoga, which is not considered to be a very good yoga. So what happens is Rahu was actually Rahu also becomes quite aggressive in the sign of Aries, and it was giving a lot of issues till now. So when Jupiter comes here, Jupiter tries to tame Rahu, or it tries to control the malefic nature of Rahu. So a lot of energy of Jupiter is actually spent in controlling the malefic nature of Rahu. So that is one thing. And the third thing is the third aspect of Saturn from the sign of Aquarius, to the sign of Aries, where Jupiter would now be going and Rahu is already placed, right? So Saturn with its third aspect would be creating boundaries around Jupiter and Rahu, and Jupiter to give results would have to break these boundaries, and only then it would be able to give results, right? So these 3 aspects we need to actually think of when we actually plan for the transit of Jupiter. And like I said, the key would be to increase the strength of Jupiter, because Jupiter would be losing a lot of energy in actually controlling Rahu, and also in breaking the boundaries set by Saturn, right? Now needless to say that lot depends upon which dasha you are going through, how Jupiter is placed in your chart, whether Jupiter is functional malefic or functional benefic. So all these things, they matter a lot, right? So we already discussed earlier about that. So now let us talk about Sagittarius ascendant, right? So for Sagittarius ascendant, Jupiter would now be moving from the 4th house to the 5th house, and it was quite comfortable being in the 4th house, and might have given amazing results to you because it's a lot of ascendant, it's sort of 2 wonderful Kendra houses, a functional benefic for you, right? One of the best planets for you, and in the 4th house in its own sign, it gains a lot of directional strength as well. And now it would be moving to the 5th house where Rahu is actually placed, right? And from 5th house it would be aspecting the 9th house, the 11th house, and your Lagna, right? So the 9th, 11th and Lagna, so 3 wonderful houses. So it's going to be a good transit for you guys, a wonderful transit, I would say. The only thing is, again, Rahu is in the same sign as Aries, so that's one thing. So apart from that, it's going to be a wonderful transit for you guys. So what you can expect, 5th house, and 9th house are known as so the Dharma Trikon, the trine houses 1, 5 and 7 would now be kind of activated by the presence and aspects of Jupiter, which is wonderful. They are also considered to be the Lakshmi Bhava, right? So 5th house is wonderful house. It represents children, it represents emotional bonding, it represents romance, represents learning, higher learning, arts, entertainment, many things. And if you are in these fields, then you are going to have wonderful opportunities. Now sitting there, it aspects your 11th house, so the 5-11 axis would now be activated, right? So people who are in the fields of speculation like share market, etc., it's going to be a wonderful time, but you need to consider the placement of Rahu in your chart. So if Rahu is originally wonderfully placed in your chart, then this transit of Jupiter will give you amazing monetary gains, right? So from that perspective, it's going to be wonderful for you. It also aspects the ninth house, so indication of travel. So if you're a student and if you have desire to go for higher education, maybe your post graduation or PhD, then wonderful time. And if you want to pursue that in foreign land, then that surely would happen. Surely it would happen. A wonderful time for people who are planning for marriage, because 5th and 11th house are getting activated here, right? So wonderful time. And people who are in a relationship, some sort of love affairs, romance and everything, then this is the time where you can actually commit to that relationship and get into the institution of marriage, right? So a wonderful time. So for Sagittarius ascendant, it's going to be a great one, right? Now coming to Capricorn. So for Capricorn, Jupiter rules 2 houses, the 12th house and the 3rd house, right? So it is a functional malefic for you, for sure. It's a functional malefic, and surely the transit is going to be a mixed one for you. So let us it is going to transit to your 4th house, and from the 4th house it's going to aspect your 8th house, your 10th house and your 12th house, right? So 8th and 12th house it's going to aspect, right? So let's first talk about some good things, right? Now when it goes to the 4th house, it gets wonderful directional strength. Rahu is already there, so that part we need to consider for sure. Now sitting there, it's going to aspect your 10th house, and this is going to give you, this aspect of Jupiter is going to give you wonderful opportunities at your workplace. So if you were considering changing your job, getting into a new role, or you were expecting some sort of promotion, excellent time. This is the time where you can actually think of it, right? And because it is a lot of your 3rd house now getting into the 4th house, so if you had any plans for purchase of property or selling the property, then this transit would actually help you to achieve that. Now it's it aspects the 8th and 12th house as well. It's a lot of your 12th house also, so you can expect some sudden spendings, some sudden expenditure on property. Maybe you will have to repair some things in a property. You will have to spend some money on your property, some money on your vehicle, maybe for the repairs of vehicle or purchasing of new vehicle, something of that sort. So some expenditure related to either home or vehicle, or maybe on health of your mother, right? So you will have to spend some amount of money for that, for sure. It also aspects your 8th house, so you can expect that some sudden events related to home, quite possible. Some sudden journeys you might have to take, and you'll have to spend some extra money on that. So that's also quite possible, right? So Capricorn guys, it's going to be a mixed one. So apart from job, you'll have to take care of your expenditure. You have to keep close watch on that, because it will surely make you spend a lot of money, because Rahu and Jupiter both are aspecting your 12th house, and Jupiter is a lot of your 12th house, right? Now for Aquarius ascendant. So for Aquarius, Jupiter is moving from your 2nd house to your 3rd house. Now for Aquarius ascendant, Jupiter is a lord of your 11th and 2nd house. So Jupiter is a wealth giving planet for you. So the lot of your savings, the lot of your earnings, everything. So it controls the wealth, in your chart. A wonderful planet for you guys. But when Jupiter actually transits to the 3rd house, it loses its directional strength, because the philosophy of Jupiter is quite averse to the 3rd house, wherein you need to put in a lot of effort, work extremely hard, which Jupiter is not meant to do, right? So Jupiter is meant to do many other things apart from this, but unfortunately now Jupiter will have to do that, and because of that it's quite irritated. It's not not at all happy being in the 3rd house. But Rahu is there, which is quite strong. So again, the key is to increase the directional strength. But apart from that, if you are successful in increasing the strength or strengthen the Jupiter, then this transit is going to be an amazing one, because Jupiter would now aspect your 7th house, your 9th house and your 11th house. perfect time for people who are unmarried and planning to get married. It's a perfect time. People who are planning to start some new business venture, who have been waiting for quite some time, perfect time, perfect time. The only thing is you'll have to put in a lot of effort and consider strengthening your Jupiter by various Vedic techniques that would help you a lot, right? If you had any issues in your marriage or in your relationship, then this transit of Jupiter can actually help you to resolve those issues, but again you'll have to put in a lot of effort. Now Jupiter also aspects your ninth house. Now this 3-9 axis, whenever it gets activated, it clearly indicates travel. Clearly, so it can be domestic travel, it can be travel within the state or international travel, but travel is surely indicated, right? Because the 3-9 axis is getting activated. So people who have some plans for travel, just go ahead, because Jupiter is going to help you in this aspect. People who are in the field of writing and publishing, again this is a wonderful time, because again the 3-9 axis of writing something and publishing that is now getting activated, right? So a good time, I would say. It also aspects the 11th house of fulfillment of all your desires, house of network circle. So you'll be in touch with many good people. Your network circle would be quite active. Probably you'll meet new people, so that's also quite possible. And you'll have great time with your network circle, right? So for Aquarius, it's going to be a very good one, provided you increase the strength of Jupiter. So that's the key aspect. So if you don't do that, then things might look positive, but they'll never happen, right? So it's just like things might apparently look like things are working, but things will not happen. So consider strengthening your Jupiter, right? Now coming to Pisces ascendant. So for Pisces, Jupiter again is the lord of your ascendant, one of the best planets. It's a lord of your 10th house and the 12th house, and now it would be transiting into your 2nd house, and being there it would be aspecting the 6th house, the 8th house, and the 12th and the 10th house, right? So now the 2nd house represents savings. So your savings would increase, that's for sure. Now if Rahu is basically placed in a very bad spot in your chart, and it was blocking money for you, then this transit of Jupiter would ease that off. So you will start getting your blocked money. New sources of money would now actually be quite visible for you, and you'll work in that direction, right? And sitting in the 2nd house, it is aspecting the 10th house. So if Rahu was giving some issues in your job till now, job or business, then Jupiter is going to ease that off. Jupiter would also bring new opportunities for you in job or business, and that change of either job or role would give you very good financial gains. It would give you wonderful financial gains, and you should go for it. Now Jupiter is also aspecting your 6th house. So one indication is some issues, if you had any issues in ancestral property, so that might actually take a very bad turn, or things might go very bad. So you need to be quite patient, self-control, not to speak very harsh words, because again 2nd house is the house of your speech. So Rahu in the 2nd house can make you speak quite roughly. It was doing till now, but Jupiter is there now, and Jupiter would be controlling things to a larger extent, right? So be careful. Wait for Jupiter to transit to the next house, so that these things would ease off. And you can also expect some so being in the 2nd house, it also aspects your 8th house. So 8th house is house of 2nd house is house of gains or your wealth. 2nd and 8th house is house of sudden events. So one indication is you can expect gains from some unknown sources. It can be insurance, or something sudden can come up which might give you a lot of gains. 8th house also represents research. It also represents things which are buried deep inside, which may be mining, which may be anything like even astrology, occult, lot of things, things which are buried deep, right? So you might get interest in understanding these things, And if you are in the field of research, R&D, and even if you are doctors, then this transit is going to be an amazing one for you, right? So guys, Pisces ascendant, it's going to be a good one. These were my thoughts on how the transit of Jupiter to the sign of Aries would be for this last 4 ascendants, namely Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. So if you like my video, please subscribe to my channel. I'll be back with another video. Thank you so much.